Ah, yes. The good old classic music of Mega Man. A gargantuous library of fantastic tunes, debuting ever since the very beginning of the Blue Bomber's birth. And even to this very day, the music is still amazing and has not shown a single damn sign of losing its touch. Even after countless upon countless sequels that's been kept with simplistic titles for the name of the given series of the franchise, with only a number at the end for each game released, evolving, growing, and changing with every upgrade it's been gifted in the past 3 decades for our blessed ears to listen to until our heart's content. To every prologue intro that derives the feelings of excitement or suspense, title screens to get you started on the next arduous journey, option menus, stage selects to keep you invested on choosing your target, Robot Master stages to experience the levels for its authentic elements shown in the melodies, and more importantly, what it feels like to trespass through enemy territory by going after the cunning, persistent, and nefarious evil mad scientist, Dr. Wily. Equipped at maximum firepower, ready to bring him down to his knees. These particular tracks from the classic series are so great that it's been the iconic symbol for Mega Man's inner heroic side being fleshed out in preparation as he is committed to fulfill his goal of earning world peace, no matter how many times either side refuses to give up. The war keeps going, and the white flag is nowhere to be seen. And these are my 10 selected favorites. This list will include one Wily stage theme for each game in the classic series, from Mega Man 1 through Mega Man 10. And since this is another rendition of my previous soundtrack countdown video I've made in the past, I will also be describing them in thorough detail processes based on my experiences once again. Rest assured, however, it won't be flooded with an obscene overabundance of walls of text this time around, primarily because of the fact that it's, well, Mega Man. So it's straightforward enough as it is on why the descriptions will be dwarfed to a fair extent. And also, the elements for the idea of Wily Fortress levels are mostly the same in music quality. I say mostly because I will still point out the elements they have for me to add diversity in this video. A couple rules for me to jot down. Only tracks that are in Dr. Wily's stages. So, music from Dr. Cossack and Proto/Darkman Castle are off the list. In addition to music from the fan-made games as well, are also not included. Though, if I had to begin, the Robot Revolution from Mega Man Unlimited would have probably taken the #1 spot if it wasn't fan-made. Because thank God the original version was fixed. It was way too gloomy and was missing the excitement. But I digress. Finally, please be sure to keep an open mind while you're watching this. Because, as if it wasn't obvious enough for me to point it out to you already, these are once again subject to my thoughts, experiences, and my opinions I have for each track I consider as a personal favorite and or better than the other. If you like taking things seriously, then I suggest that you leave and don't bother complaining to make a fool out of yourself in the comments. Intro sequence completed. Get your weapons ready, because now it's
time to begin the countdown!
So, without further delay, let's
start the music!
Whew. That took quite a long time to finish that one, I'll tell you what. I kind of ran out of ideas of what to say on Abandoned Memory just because that I was practically reiterating the same damn thing over and over, but with different words to portray it. But that's just how I that's just how I just view Abandoned Memory, just because of the name, the tone, and the fact that MegaMan is just revisiting the area of his past experiences that I'm guessing he just didn't want to relive, and all those memories that he had in the past were abandoned, and the memories that he abandoned are just all gathered together in one place for him to experience once again, and the melody just clearly says that. Okay, now it may seem that I'm basically just giving out more description on this just because that I ran out of fucking space and footage to describe all this, but that is the final verdict of what Abandoned Memory is. A fantastic and overly fantastic melody that just transcends the idea of Dr. Wily's state, and it doesn't even feel like anything about Dr. Wily at all. It's all about him and his experiences, past, present, future, etc. Well, anyway, that is all 10 of the that is all 10 of my favorites, all my all-time top 10 favorite Dr. Wily stage themes, and I gotta admit, it was very fun describing all these. That I didn't really think that it would be possible for me to actually go in depth on describing a MegaMan track, just because I thought it was basic. It's a basic standard of what MegaMan means. Well, okay, not what it means, but what I mean by that is the fact that it's just MegaMan, and it's just self-explanatory. You just gotta listen to it, and if the melody's good, there you go. Why is it good? It's MegaMan. It's Capcom. What else would you expect? And I was actually able to just analyze all the elements for me to describe describe all of them in thorough detail. And I'm surprised that I was able to do just that for all 10. Well, nothing for me to replace my top 100 favorite video game soundtracks list because those are 100 of them, and that took more than 3 or 4 months to complete. More than 3 and 4 months for me to complete, and the descriptions were, for the most part, just based on my experiences and excitement for me describing what makes them amazing. And even though that I was a little bit excessive on just putting down captions, like captions that were not walls of text, they were just sentences. They were just easy to read sentences, despite the short time length on the captions of how long they've lasted. Abandoned Memory and Turtles Realm were just one of the many occasions. Despite all that, the descriptions that I wrote on there was a little bit much, and I feel like that making this video just made it a little bit better than I did previously. And the descriptions on here are a hell of a lot better and more in depth than I did in the past. And this just begs the question: despite all these Dr. Wily stage theme songs that I have as a favorite, does that mean that it has the chance to replace it? Does that mean that it has the chance to replace one of my top 10 favorite MegaMan tracks of all time? No, actually, it doesn't really qualify for. I wouldn't really say that anything about I wouldn't really say that anything about going after Dr. Wily would be enough to replace any of my top 10 favorites. Any of my top 10 all-time favorite MegaMan tracks ever. Well, if your curiosity speak, this is my. If your curiosity speak, these are currently my top 10 all-time favorite MegaMan tracks. Top Man, Cross Crawfish, Galaxy Man, Get the Punk Out, Jet Stingray, Caravan Hope for Freedom, Blaze Heatniks, Falling Down, Lumine Second Phase, and Jacob Orbital Elevator. And despite all of these fantastic MegaMan tracks that I consider as a all-time favorite, like top 10
what qualifies it for to be on the top 100. It always made me believe that despite all of these amazing Mega Man melodies that I've heard countless times over and over and over again, like going from Classic to Mega Man X to Mega Man Zero, and even to just go as far as playing the fan made games as well. This makes me believe that despite all of them, there's just so much. The library of Mega music is just so incredible and endless that I really do not believe that any of those soundtracks in the past or in the present day of Mega Man would actually have the chance to actually replace one of my favorites. Except for one.
Behold! Impact Man!
Regardless if this doesn't associate anything related to Dr. Wily anymore, thank you all so much for watching this video and lending your ears to a soundtrack addict that listens to video game music for way longer than is healthy, and I will see you later. This is GBA049, signing out. Going offline. See you next mission, and Mega Man for life.